And as the lawmakers return, calls for justice in the death of Robert Brooks continue as charges have yet to be filed nearly a month now after he was beaten and killed in Marcy Correctional Facility. CBS 6's Tom Eschen was at the Capitol all day today. So, Tom, what are you hearing from lawmakers?
Well, there are those on both sides of the aisle say that the video and obviously what happened with Robert Brooks is absolutely horrible. There's different approaches, though, on how to address that and what they think can be a step forward in all of this. Some of that's coming in the form of proposed legislation, sentencing reform, parole reform, accountability for correctional officers. Also, those on the other side of the coin saying there needs to be more done to recruit correctional officers. And at the same time today, I'm also learning that there's a letter going around the Democratic conference calling for the Marcy Correctional Facility to be closed, though not everyone's on board with that.
Senate will come to order.
The 2025 legislative session has begun. One of the most pressing issues on the table, how the legislature will address the beating of Robert Brooks in Marcy Correctional Facility in December. Will you be signing the letter calling for the closure of Marcy Correctional after what happened with Robert Brooks last month?
I don't expect to sign it. I don't think that's the approach. I want to look much more holistically and systemically.
Where do you fall when it comes to that, and do you think it should close?
Listen, you can't just change the whole system because of a bunch of bad apples. There are a lot of good people that work in the corrections department across the state. What they did was irreprehensible. It's disgusting.
Marcy, one of the main topics as lawmakers return. Another at the top of the list, affordability. The governor proposing to triple the child tax credit and give New Yorkers checks up to $500.
I mean, it's fine. No one's against giving money to people who need it, but that's a one-off, which seems more like a thing you do when you have a little extra money kicking around than a more serious policy decision that is long-lasting. And so I don't know that very many people oppose it if we happen to have a surplus in certain areas right now, but I'd be more interested in establishing something that will be something people can rely on beyond just this year.
That's why I just don't think that it could fall into a neat teaser of the governor's budget, like, you know, this bullet point is going to just fix it. It's not. It's to me, that's a Band-Aid on a bullet wound to give somebody a $300 or $500 check.
Something you will hear Republicans on board with is that child tax credit. They're quick to remind you also that that's something that they had proposed and talked about expanding for a few years now. Meanwhile, you can hear more of my conversation with Michael Generis, the Deputy Majority Leader, tomorrow on Power and Politics. Something we spoke about, universal child care and universal school lunches, two important topics when it comes to that affordability moving forward here. Reporting live from the Capitol, Tom Eschen, CBS 6 News.